Welcome to our deep dive today. Looks like we're going global for this one.
Going global.
Yeah. You've sent us a bunch of Spanish articles all about AI and advanced data analysis.
Ah, I see. Looks like someone's ready to explore how AI is transforming data analysis, maybe even with a Latin American twist.
You got it. And we have this excerpt here. Analysis Avanzado Datos Inteligencia Artificial, which seems to lay out a whole roadmap for AI projects. But before we get into the nitty-gritty,
The nuts and bolts.
right, the nuts and bolts, let's talk about what this all means for us for everyday life.
The big picture.
Exactly. I mean, just imagine a world where we can predict how students will perform in school, optimize how factories run in real time, even diagnose diseases earlier than ever.
All thanks to the power of AI-driven data analysis. It's incredible to think about.
It really is. And you mentioned a Latin American twist, and I'm just noticing this excerpt, unlike many others we've seen, really does dive into the potential of AI specifically within the Latin American market.
Yeah.
It's like they're looking at the unique applications developing in that region.
That's a really interesting observation. I hadn't noticed that specific angle before.
Me neither. This
Yeah.
is even more exciting now. But okay, before we run off with all the cool applications.
We need to lay the groundwork.
Exactly. Let's break down advanced data analysis. I feel like it's become such a buzzword.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's talking about it.
So what really is it? What makes it advanced? How is it different from just, regular data analysis?
You hit the nail on the head with regular. Traditional data analysis is all about looking at the past, reporting on what's already happened. Advanced data analysis, well, that's where AI comes in. It uses that past data, but to predict future trends, make smarter decisions, guide actions.
So it's less about reporting and more about predicting even decision-making.
Exactly. It's about extracting meaning from data, turning it into actionable insights.
Like having a crystal ball, but one that's powered by data and algorithms.
Haha, I like that. A data-driven crystal ball. And the best part is, it's not just limited to neat, organized data like spreadsheets. AI can analyze all sorts of data, messy stuff like text, images, even video. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
Speaking of possibilities, the excerpt mentions all these different AI techniques.
The tools of the trade.
Yeah, the tools. And honestly, sometimes it feels like a whole different language. Let's unpack some of that, starting with machine learning. I feel like I hear that term everywhere I turn these days.
Is a hot topic.
But what is it, really? What's the big deal with machine learning?
Well, at its core, machine learning is all about teaching computers to learn from data without explicitly programming every single rule. We give them data, they learn the patterns and rules on their own, almost like teaching a child through experience rather than lectures.
Ah, so learning by doing, not just by being told. And I know there are different types of machine learning, right? The excerpt mentions supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and something called reinforcement learning. Can you break those down for us?
Of course. Let's start with supervised learning. It's like giving a student a textbook with all the answers. We feed the algorithm labeled data so it knows what the right answers are, and then it learns to map inputs to outputs based on those examples.
So it's learning by example. Got it.
Yeah,
What about unsupervised learning? Is that more like a student figuring things out on their own?
exactly. No textbook, no answer key. In unsupervised learning, the algorithm gets unlabeled data and has to find the patterns and relationships itself, like grouping customers based on their buying habits. The algorithm isn't told what the groups should be, it figures it out on its own.
Wow, that's impressive. So it's like the algorithm is uncovering hidden connections.
Uncovering connections that we might miss.
It's almost like magic. Okay, and what about reinforcement learning? This one sounds a bit more, well, active.
Yes, it's a bit more dynamic. Reinforcement learning is like training a dog a new trick, with rewards for good behavior and maybe a little no for mistakes. We reward the algorithm for correct actions and penalize it for wrong ones. This is how those self-driving cars are learning to navigate trial and error, with rewards for safe driving and penalties for getting too close to the curb.
That's fascinating. So it's like they're learning by experience, but with those clear consequences guiding them.
Right. Consequences shape their learning.
It's like different learning styles for computers.
You could say that. We're mimicking the way humans learn in some ways.
Amazing. Okay, we've talked about supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. But the excerpt also mentions deep learning, which Honestly, sounds even more complex. Is that like the next level of machine learning?
In a way, you can think of deep learning as a subset of machine learning, but it's definitely taking things up a notch. It uses artificial neural networks, inspired by the human brain, to process and analyze information. And it's especially good at really complex tasks, things like image recognition or understanding natural language.
So it's like giving the computer a whole brain to learn with, not just a set of rules.
Yeah, a powerful brain. And it's behind some of the coolest AI applications we see today. Facial recognition, translating languages, even composing music.
It's mind-blowing. Okay, so to be clear, deep learning is a type of machine learning, but it uses those neural networks like a brain.
Precisely.
Got it. Now, the excerpt mentions a couple of specific deep learning techniques, things called CNNs and RNNs. What are those all about?
Right, so CNNs, or convolutional neural networks, those are the masters of image and video analysis. They excel at identifying patterns and features in visual data. Think of things like medical imaging, where they can help doctors spot tumors, or self-driving cars, where they help the car see and understand its surroundings.
Wow, so they're like the visual artists of the AI world.
Exactly. And then we have RNNs, or recurrent neural networks. These are the time travelers.
Time travelers.
Haha, in a way. They're amazing at understanding sequences, patterns that unfold over time. That's why they're used in things like speech recognition, language translation, and you know what else?
What?
Predicting stock prices.
Oh, wow. Okay, so they're really good with anything that involves understanding sequences, patterns over time.
Yes, like a sentence, a piece of music, stock market trends. They see those patterns.
That's incredible. You know, earlier we were talking about that Latin American focus, and I think this connects to it. One of the articles actually talks about how researchers are using RNNs to predict the success of these microfinance loans in underserved communities in Latin America.
Oh, that's fascinating. Using AI to support financial inclusion.
It's amazing. This is more than just cool tech. It's about making a real difference in people's lives.
Exactly. And that's what makes AI so exciting. It's not just about the algorithms themselves, it's about the potential they have to solve real-world problems. And deep learning is a huge part of that, a rapidly evolving field with new architectures and algorithms emerging all the time. It's really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
It's a bit overwhelming, honestly.
I know what you mean.
But in a good way. Like we've only scratched the surface of deep learning, but we've covered numbers, images, sequences. What about text and language? Can AI handle that too?
Absolutely. That's where natural language processing, or NLP, steps into the spotlight. It's all about enabling computers to understand, interpret, and even generate human language. Think of those chatbots you might encounter online.
Or even those language translation tools.
Exactly. Or even sentiment analysis, where AI can figure out what people are feeling based on what they're saying on social media.
Wow, so AI is becoming a master communicator, huh?
You could say that. It's analyzing the nuances of language, which is incredible to think about.
It's amazing. It seems like AI can handle any kind of data.
It's becoming increasingly versatile.
So with all this amazing stuff,
Yeah.
all these possibilities, what are some real-world examples of how this is all coming together? I mean, how is AI actually being used in different sectors to make a difference?
Well, the applications are vast, and they're only growing. Let's start with education. It's a field ripe for disruption, and AI is already making waves. Imagine tailoring educational experiences to each student's individual needs.
Personalized learning paths.
Exactly. Adjusting the content, the pace, everything to match their unique learning style and abilities.
That sounds like every teacher's dream. But how does that actually work? What's going on behind the scenes to make that happen?
One of those Spanish articles actually dives into a platform being developed in Argentina. They're using machine learning to predict how students will perform and even identify those at risk of dropping out of school.
It's like an early warning system for students who need extra support.
Right. It analyzes all sorts of factors, attendance, grades, even social-emotional data to provide targeted interventions and help those students succeed.
That's incredible. And this is happening right now. It's amazing how Latin America seems to be at the forefront of some of these AI innovations.
Absolutely. It's a region brimming with creativity and a real drive to solve real-world problems. And education is just one example. AI is being used to automate grading, provide feedback, even create virtual tutors and intelligent learning environments. It's changing the way we learn and teach in profound ways.
It's exciting to see how AI is making education more personalized and effective. But what about other fields? Where else is AI having a big impact?
Finance is another sector being revolutionized. Think about preventing fraud, where AI can analyze mountains of transactional data in real time to catch suspicious activity. Or algorithmic trading, where AI systems are making split-second trading decisions based on market data. And then there's personalized financial advice, AI-powered chatbots helping people manage their finances, make investment choices, all tailored to their specific needs.
It sounds like AI is changing everything in finance, from protecting us from scams to helping us grow our savings.
It's transforming the industry from top to bottom.
And what about healthcare? I've heard so much about the potential of AI in healthcare.
Healthcare is definitely one of the areas where AI has the potential to make the most significant impact. Imagine AI analyzing medical images, detecting tumors earlier and more accurately than human radiologists. Think about AI-powered virtual assistants offering personalized health recommendations based on your genes and your lifestyle. And let's not forget about drug discovery, where AI is speeding up the process of developing new treatments.
This is all incredible. It sounds like AI could usher in a new era of personalized, even preventative healthcare.
Precisely. And it's not just futuristic fantasy, it's happening now. One of the articles talks about this healthcare startup in Chile. They're using AI to analyze patient data and predict who's likely to end up back in the hospital.
Oh, wow. So they can intervene early and hopefully prevent those readmissions?
Exactly. It's about using data to improve healthcare outcomes and potentially save lives. It's really amazing.
It really is. It's clear AI is having a huge impact across all kinds of fields. But I'm curious, how does someone actually use all this? How do you go from reading about it to actually implementing AI in your own work? Where do you even start?
That's a great question. And actually, the excerpt you sent outlines a pretty clear methodology for tackling AI projects. And it all starts with a simple but crucial step, defining the problem. What are you actually trying to solve with AI? Are you trying to boost efficiency, cut costs, make better predictions? It sounds simple, but it's really important to have a clear goal in mind.
So start with a clear goal.
Yes. Then comes the data. This is where things can get a bit tricky. You need to make sure you have the right data, the right fuel for the AI engine. It needs to be relevant to the problem you're tackling, accurate, reliable, and you need enough of it to train your AI models effectively.
So it's not just any data. It has to be the right data for the job.
Exactly. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Okay, so you define the problem, you gather the right data. What's next?
Exploration. You need to dive into the data, visualize it, look for those hidden patterns and trends, those clues that might be hiding in plain sight. It's like detective work, but for data.
I like that. We're data detectives.
Yeah.
So we've explored the data, found the patterns. What then?
Now it's time to choose the right tools for the job. And this is where understanding those different types of machine learning and deep learning we talked about really comes in handy. You need to pick the right AI algorithms, the ones best suited to the problem you're trying to solve.
So it's not one size fits all. Each problem needs a different approach.
Exactly. Different problems need different tools. And once you've got your tools, it's time to train and test your AI model. This is where you feed the algorithms the data you've gathered and fine-tune them until they're performing well, even on data they've never seen before.
So it's like putting the AI through boot camp, getting it ready for the real world.
Exactly. It's a process, but it's incredibly exciting to see it all come together.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the incredible potential here, how AI can be used to solve real problems and drive innovation.
And we're just getting started. There's so much more to explore, from the ethical implications of AI to the specific challenges and opportunities it presents in each sector. It's a vast and a fascinating world we're diving into.
I feel like we've opened a door to a whole new world. I'm eager to keep exploring and see where this journey takes us. So we've laid a pretty solid foundation, exploring the different types of AI, even touching on how to actually implement AI projects.
The building blocks, so to speak.
Yeah, the building blocks. And it's fascinating to see how these concepts are taking shape in the real world, especially in Latin America, based on all those Spanish articles you shared.
Right. It's incredible how quickly things are moving, how much innovation is happening.
And what I find particularly interesting is how they're using AI to address some of the unique challenges in the region, like financial inclusion or access to quality healthcare.
Absolutely. Those are some really pressing issues.
One of the articles mentioned using AI to assess creditworthiness in underserved communities, helping people access financial opportunities they might not have had before.
Oh, that's a fantastic example. Using AI to empower people.
It's amazing. And then there was another one about this platform that uses machine learning to diagnose skin cancer.
Diagnose skin cancer. Just from images.
Yeah. Apparently, it analyzes images taken with a smartphone, which could be a game changer in remote areas where people might not have easy access to dermatologists.
Wow, that's incredible. Talk about bringing healthcare to underserved communities.
It's truly inspiring to see how AI is being used to bridge those gaps, to make a real difference in people's lives. It's more than just cool technology. It's about creating positive change.
It really is. It highlights the importance of directing AI development towards solving those real-world problems, the ones that matter most.
Exactly. The potential is huge, and it seems like we're just getting started.
Just scratching the surface.
Right.
But as AI becomes more integrated into our lives, as it becomes more powerful, it also raises some really important questions.
Like what kind of questions?
Well, one that comes up all the time is the impact of AI on jobs, on the job market. Will it replace human jobs? Or will it create new opportunities?
That's a big one, a question I've been wrestling with too. And honestly, the articles seem to paint a bit of a mixed picture.
It's definitely complex, no easy answers.
Like,
Some experts are predicting that AI will automate a lot of tasks,
hmm,
potentially leading to job displacement, particularly in certain sectors.
that's a bit scary to think about.
It is a valid concern, but it's also important to remember that throughout history, technological advancements have always disrupted the job market.
Right, like the Industrial Revolution.
Exactly. And while some jobs were lost, new ones emerged. And I think the same is likely to happen with AI. As AI takes over those routine tasks, we'll see new opportunities arise in areas that require uniquely human skills.
Things like creativity or critical thinking, emotional intelligence.
Exactly. Those uniquely human skills are going to be more valuable than ever. So it's not really about humans versus machines, but about humans and machines working together.
A partnership.
Right, a partnership. AI augmenting our capabilities, freeing us up to do what we do best.
It's like those science fiction movies where humans and AI collaborate to achieve amazing things.
Haha. And sometimes science fiction becomes reality.
Right.
Imagine doctors using AI-powered tools to make faster, more accurate diagnoses, or architects using AI to design buildings that are more sustainable, more energy efficient. It's all about leveraging AI to enhance our abilities, not replace us.
I love that. It's about working smarter, not harder.
Precisely. And that's why it's so crucial to develop the skills and knowledge we need to thrive in this new world. It's not just about coding or algorithms, it's about fostering those uniquely human skills: critical thinking, problem solving, adaptability.
So it's about preparing ourselves for a future where we're working alongside intelligent machines, not competing with them.
Exactly. And that brings us to another crucial question. How do we ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly? How do we keep things ethical?
That's a big one. I mean, we've seen the potential for good, but what about the potential for things to go wrong?
It's a valid concern. AI is a powerful tool, and like any tool, it can be used for both good and bad. That's why it's so important to establish those ethical guidelines, a framework for AI development and deployment.
It's like giving AI a moral compass, making sure it's aligned with our values.
Exactly. We need to make sure that AI is used in a way that benefits humanity as a whole. And that involves addressing some key issues: bias, transparency, accountability.
Can you break those down a bit?
Of course. So bias in AI systems can creep in from the data they're trained on. If the data reflects existing societal biases, the AI can end up perpetuating those biases.
That's a scary thought. It's like we're accidentally teaching AI to be prejudiced.
That's why it's so important to be mindful of the data we use and to develop techniques that can help us mitigate those biases.
So we need to make sure the data itself is fair.
Exactly. And then there's transparency. People should understand how these AI systems work, how they're making decisions that can impact their lives. We need to be able to see what's going on under the hood, so to speak.
So it's about demystifying AI, making it more accessible.
Right. Opening up that black box, making AI systems more understandable and accountable.
Accountability, that's a big one. I mean, who's responsible when an AI system makes a mistake?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's
Right.
one we need to answer. How do we ensure that AI systems are used in a way that is safe, ethical, and benefits everyone?
These are tough questions, but it's clear that as AI becomes more powerful, more prevalent in our lives, we need to be having these conversations.
Absolutely. And the responsibility falls on everyone involved, from the developers and researchers to the policymakers and even the end users.
It's a shared responsibility to shape the future of AI.
Exactly.
This whole conversation has been so enlightening, honestly. We've gone from the technical details of AI to the broader societal impact, the ethical considerations, all these different angles.
It's a multifaceted topic.
It is, and I feel like we're starting to get a clearer picture of how complex and fascinating this world of AI really is.
And that complexity is what makes it so captivating. And the articles you shared really highlight how the landscape of AI is evolving, how each region is facing its own unique challenges and opportunities.
It feels like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Oh, absolutely. There's so much more to explore. And speaking of exploring, we've talked a lot about the impact of AI on jobs, but what about the skills and knowledge needed to actually thrive in this AI-powered world? What does it mean to be AI literate?
AI literate. I like that. That's a great question, and I'm definitely eager to explore it further. We've explored the amazing potential of AI, revolutionizing industries, tackling social challenges, and it's been fascinating to see how those Spanish articles highlight the advancements happening, particularly in Latin America.
Yeah, the innovations happening there are really remarkable.
But this brings us to a really crucial question. How do we prepare ourselves as individuals for this AI-powered future that's already unfolding?
It's a great question, and it's one that keeps coming up, especially in those articles. It's no longer a question of if AI will impact our lives, it's about how. And they all seem to point to the growing need for AI literacy.
AI literacy, what is that exactly?
It's like a blend of knowledge and skills that help us navigate this new world shaped by AI.
So it's not just about being a tech whiz, being able to code.
Not at all. It's about understanding what AI is, what it can do, what it can't do, the implications, the ethics.
So it's like having a basic grasp of the language of AI, even if we're not fluent.
That's a great way to put it. It's about being able to have informed conversations about AI, understanding how it's affecting different industries, and being able to critically evaluate all the claims that are being made about it. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of hype out there.
So much hype. And sometimes it's hard to separate the facts from the fiction.
Absolutely. And one of those articles really emphasized the importance of critical thinking in this age of AI.
Critical thinking, why is that so important?
Because we need to be able to discern fact from fiction, to question assumptions, to really evaluate the evidence and form our own judgment.
Especially since those AI systems are getting so advanced, their outputs, the things they produce, are getting harder and harder to interpret.
Exactly. And it's crucial because AI shouldn't be seen as this almighty oracle that we blindly follow.
Right, it's a tool.
It is a powerful tool. But we need to use our own judgment, apply our own critical thinking skills to the information that AI provides.
So it's about humans and AI working together, not AI dictating everything.
Exactly. It's a partnership, a collaboration. Now, another article highlighted the importance of data literacy alongside AI literacy. Do you think those two are connected?
They sound connected. I mean, AI systems, they learn from data, right?
Right. So understanding data is essential for really grasping how AI works. Data literacy involves the ability to read, analyze, even argue with data.
It's like being able to understand the raw ingredients that go into that AI recipe.
Exactly. Without data literacy, it's hard to assess the quality of the data being used, which could lead to all sorts of problems, like biased or inaccurate results.
That makes sense. So data literacy is kind of like a prerequisite for understanding and working with AI.
It's foundational, absolutely.
Okay, so we've got critical thinking, data literacy. What else? Are there any other skills or maybe even mindsets that are really crucial for thriving in this world where AI is becoming more and more prevalent?
Definitely. One big one is adaptability, being open to change and having that willingness to constantly learn new things.
Because the AI field is evolving so rapidly.
At an incredible pace. New technologies, applications, it's a whirlwind of innovation.
So it's not just about learning a fixed set of skills, but about cultivating a mindset of continuous learning and growth.
Exactly. And the articles mention other skills too, like creativity, collaboration, communication. Those are going to be increasingly important as AI takes over more routine tasks because those uniquely human skills, they'll be even more valuable.
It's interesting to think about the future of work, how humans and AI will collaborate.
Right, a future where we're leveraging each other's strengths to solve problems, create new opportunities.
It's both exciting and a bit daunting.
I understand that it's a lot to process, a lot of change happening so quickly, but by embracing a growth mindset, by focusing on those skills we've talked about, critical thinking, data literacy, adaptability, creativity, collaboration, we can navigate this transition and harness the incredible power of AI for the greater good.
That's a great message. And honestly, looking through those articles, especially those focusing on Latin America, it's clear that they see AI not just as some technological marvel, but as a real tool for positive change.
Right, a tool for empowerment, for bridging those gaps, for creating a more just and sustainable world. But we need to remember that future, it's not predetermined, it's being shaped right now by the choices we make.
That's a powerful reminder that we all have a role to play in ensuring that AI is used responsibly and ethically.
And by embracing this idea of AI literacy, we can become active participants in shaping this transformative technology, not just passive observers.
So as we continue to learn about AI and explore all its implications, knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely. The more we understand, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the challenges, harness the opportunities, and make sure AI is used for good.
This deep dive has been incredible, a real journey of discovery, from the technical nuts and bolts of AI to its broader societal impact. It's clear that the future is being written right now, and we all have a part to play in shaping it.
Thank you for joining us on this exploration of AI and advanced data analysis. It's been a pleasure diving into this topic with you.
And to our listeners, remember to stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged, because the world of AI is constantly evolving. Until next time.